Tell me you wrote it. Give me a head start.
I'm Keeler.
Here.
Wes Miller.
Here.
John DeBatey.
Here.
Kurt Dudley.
Here.
Ben Mathis.
Here.
Jean Peglow.
Here.
Stephen Harling.
Here.
Gary Palmer.
Okay, first item is approval of the minutes from last meeting.
If everyone's had a chance to read, I move we approve the meeting from April 15th.
I second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. Okay, so. Modifications. State your name and who you represent, and tell us a little bit about the project.
Yeah, absolutely. I got a quick button or anything here.
Yeah, just should be on. Right?
Looks like it's on, yeah.
Okay. I'm Jake Monselli. I work with Aerosmith Development, who were the kind of co-applicant, the agent for Dish. We're applying for the application to just modify the tower that's there. Dish wants to add some antennas to the tower and some equipment within the art lease space. There's no extension, no saying the height of the tower, changing the height of the tower. There's no changing the ground space lease area. Everything, all that stays the same. It's just adding some antennas and then adding additional some wall cabinets down on ground space in the area that's already built.
Okay. This is obviously on the tower now, right?
Yeah. Very minimal impact. Not a whole lot going on there.
And it says it's a cabinet. What does it mean, cabinet?
So just kind of think of almost like a circuit breaker box, like a utility cabinet.
Okay.
They just put it kind of on the wall. They have a kind of just a wall platform on the ground space, and they just stick it right on there. And that's kind of where they run the power and fiber.
So does Aerosmith own the tower, or are you presently leasing space on there, or?
No, Aerosmith, it's CSN owns the tower. Aerosmith, we kind of act as a liaison with a lot of these companies. AT&T, Verizon, we work with them to, acquire leases, acquire, real estate, things like that. Help them when they, for where they maybe have existing equipment or existing antennas to, go back and acquire the permits to modify those, especially things like that. We kind of are a go between the.
So it's not your dish and not your tower, correct?
No.
Okay.
So have you done this for Verizon and others for this particular tower?
I have not.
Okay.
But I have.
Yeah, there's been a lot. So it says on here, do you currently have a special use permit for this facility? You have no, so,
Yeah, we don't have we're asking looking for the special use permit to do the work, do the modification. To add the antenna to it.
okay. Under your, okay,
We have to add our equipment to this new equipment to it.
For the tower. Must be one for the tower, right? Yeah. So you'd need permission from the owner of the tower that has a special use permit.
Yeah, and they work with they get permission from the owner of the tower, so the CSN will, so this will space from the tower, get access to the tower, and from the town for you to get permission to go up there and do the work and modify it.
Is there a letter in here that gives you guys the permission to add to their tower?
I'm a stand-in for this project because everyone that works on this project is down in Saratoga, and I live 30 seconds around the corner. I would have to check on. I don't know offhand, but I can check on that and let you know.
Okay. Right. Yep. Yeah, I mean, we have, so we probably got a special use permit for this tower. And you'd be a new tenant on the tower, right?
Yeah.
So we have to modify the special use permit that we currently have to show you as your equipment as a new.
Like code on it, yeah. And it's the tower that was going on, the radio tower. So it's the one that's owned by the actual owner is the Family Worship Center. They're actually out of Louisiana.
They own the tower. Do you have access to the existing special use permit we have for that? Yeah. Okay.
I can check on my end too. Have some kind of fishing stuff check with them. There's some talking with the church there. So they can pull records from their end as well. And they did do a structural analysis, with the additional equipment, weight load and all that, and that passed. No issues there as well.
Can you get us a copy of that just for the file?
Yeah, absolutely.
Structural analysis. The know, what's everybody think we should, how we ought to proceed here? Is it gonna be a hardship for you guys if we have to have you come back next month?
I mean, I can come back in here.
Are they in a big hurry to get this going, or?
I have to check. I mean, it's always kind of, they want to get their equipment up as quick as they can, but I don't think it should be a major issue if we come back next month.
Nowhere on this application does it name the tower owner. I mean, it keeps naming Kirk as the tower owner.
Yeah, so and that's something I'll check with the group. Kurt had brought that up to me. I know on the one page it says that they're going to go on the existing radio tower on land owned by Kirk, which is leased to CSN.
It says that it's leased.
Yeah, it's on page 2 of 3. On page 2 of the application, legal or equitable interest applicant has in the property.
Which is leased to CSN.
Well, I don't think there'll be any issue with this going through as adding the dish, but it just seems to be a couple little technicalities here.
It's information to be added to the special unit.
Modification.
Yeah, we kinda need the existing special use permit that's in place and then modify that one to reflect these changes. You have to do this, right? You get that, remember that list we had when these come to? We had a list we always went by, remember?
We do have the first, part 1 of the secret form in here as well.
Okay. Yeah, can you just read it?
Structural analysis is needed. Must obtain building permits, inspection certificates every 2 years on file with the town of Berry. Proof of bond and 2 estimates for restoration. Emergency contacts and procedures on file with the town of Berry. Change of ownership must be on file with the town of Berry upon transfer. Acknowledgement and consent letter on file with the town of Berry. And an EME report, or is that an EMT? One of the two.
Had a guy who heard about. Yes.
Oh, the EMI, yep. Can we, email that stuff to you?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. Okay, does anybody else have anything else?
Well, all those things that she just listed off would be from the tower owner. And this is just a modification that they're gonna add a tenant.
They gotta have.
So that stuff should all be on file, basically, already.
The only
Right, you're right. Correct.
And permission, I was gonna say, and permission to our owner.
Yeah, but you're right, the contact information and the bonds, things and so forth, those aren't necessary. Cause that's for the original permit holder for the.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. In the permission letter too. Okay. All right, so I guess if, if everybody's in favor of that, we'll table it till next
I just got a
month.
question for our understanding. Cause you're representing the management company. You're representing the dish.
Yeah, I'm the agent here.
Should it not be the Catholic, the owner of the tower applying, and Jake would be here answering questions on behalf of Dish, like we're asking. But as far as the special use modification, I'm just thinking this out logically. Shouldn't it have been them? Because they're the ones who have the special use permit because it's their tower. And they're asking, because they're making the money. They're paying, not the town. Jake's paying, the company's going to pay, Dish is going to pay ultimately this Catholic, the owner of the tower. So I think there was some mix up of ours, who's applying for the special use permit. Correct. That's right.
So so there's, you know, in other areas that we've done this, when we do modifications, we are the ones that if we're the ones that are doing the modifications, we're the ones that are attaching a new antenna to that tower, that existing tower. We, a lot of times, in other areas I've worked, are the ones that go and get pursue the building permit or the special use permit, to do that attachment, even if it may not hold the tower. Because in some instances, yes, AT&T does own the tower that they have, antennas on, and then they want to go and modify those antennas that are there, or Verizon does. So sometimes it kind of comes down to it's different with various towns. Some towns may want one, towns may look for the permit, some others.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like we need to have the modification to the special use permit that we currently have, right? Well, didn't they just do some modifications to this in the last 2 years?
Now, this is a new tower. This is the radio tower, the Christian one. All the other ones we've dealt with have been on Crown Castle. That's why there's a little confusion here. This is the first one on this Christian tower. But we either need a letter stating that Crown Castle gives you permission.
No.
Or not Cross.
CSI.
Yeah, Jimmy Swagger. Yeah, I can't get my head. Jimmy Swagger gives you guys permission to apply for a modification to their special use. Ultimately, Jimmy Swagger has the original agreement. Well,
Haven't they done things to it since then?
It looks like there's another set of solar panels.
Probably should update special use permit if it hasn't been updated.
Yeah, so I know Deanna, who I think talked to you, she would had talked back and forth with Preston. They had gone back and forth and, they had like, hey, what should we do? What's needed from us, et cetera.
And Senate meetings are there, send it out.
This is it's a modification of the special use permit, basically, right?
But we would still need permission from tower owner
Right.
and a structural analysis. Anything else that he would need out of that group? I don't think so. Because that would be the CSN that would handle all the rest of that. Group of bond, building permit, that would be theirs. So just the two things is what we would need. Yeah.
We would need to, before they can get that though, they gotta get their special use permit modified, right? Yeah.
Didn't I already see a building permit in here?
I think there is.
Who issued that? Dad?
No, they applied for it. It has
okay.
not been
It's-
issued.
It's an application for it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep, building permit application. Okay. Anything else? Anybody? Okay. You pretty square then on what you got?
Yeah,
Jake?
yep, yeah, I'm good, and I'll, like I said, I know Deanna, when you submitted the application, she was impressed with, Preston, so I'll do with that. I'll just start getting this stuff rolled over to you.
I don't think it's a problem if you come and represent the owner, as long as you have a letter from them with permission to do so,
Yep, absolutely, yeah. We can get that, may already have it, they just may not have included it in the application.
But from what we gather, you gotta have, the application's gotta be from Jimmy Swaggart, right? Ministries?
Yeah, what he has here, which is leased to CSN. CSN is they just use initials. Christian something network.
It's in the tower.
No, it says down at the very bottom of that first page when you read it. Land owned by Kirk Mathis, which is leased to CSN. And we wouldn't need to
Talk to
have
Chad.
Jared come back. Where are you from? Jared?
Jake's right.
Oh, over here,
Yeah.
okay.
He didn't come from Saratoga.
I was gonna say, okay.
Yeah, very cool house.
They'll be happy to. Yeah. It wouldn't be as pleasant.
Okay, good, thank you.
Yeah, no problem, yeah, if anyone needs anything, let me know, get my group in, start getting stuff over y'all.
You got an email we can
Yeah, I got it on the sheet.
Okay.
Yep.
Is that okay? Okay. We're going through a little change in our code enforcement, so
Yeah, or
that's been a little challenging too, but we'll figure it out.
yeah, try to get on those days.
I'll get ahold of
You
you.
know how to get on.
I'll track you down.
Thanks,
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Have a good night. Next is the old bit land separation. We talked about this at the last meeting, but I need a little refresher on how we left it.
Well, the last time we left it was the town attorney was going to provide us with her sample, because she was something. She had a copy, she was gonna give us the framework, and then we were going to review that and make modifications to fit
Based on our,
situation. That
okay.
was our last. That was a takeaway, anyways, or call to action, if you will.
Well, I can reach out to her after the meeting here and find out where we stand. I didn't do that. I could have done it before the meeting.
She's on vacation
Oh, is she? You know when she's back?
this, later this week. I don't know exactly.
Okay. Right. Anybody got any other comments on the subdivision law? I'm starting to understand a little more why it's a good idea to have one. I didn't really get it at first because we talked about a subdivision, we talked about something that usually isn't in our town. But
Yeah, I think that's the hardest problem. I was doing the same thing. I was thinking subdivision, like in suburban, dividing it up for housing tracts and things like that, where ours is more just taking a parcel and dividing it up for kids or for different things, or
yeah,
building lots or hunting parcels or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, my wife has an aunt out in Bickford. It's just going up. Mini mansions going up all over. It's coming. Just, I think we're on the poor side of the city of Rochester, so a little bit slower.
It's always been that way, besides it's underdeveloped. You know why that is? Sun. You don't wanna drive into the sun every morning. And into the sun at night. It's amazing, I never knew that.
I know what it is. I was driving across Nebraska and I fell asleep at the wheel. Didn't go off the road, my wife caught me, but that morning sun just put you to sleep.
There's nothing like driving east when the sun's coming up.
Yeah.
Right in your eyes. The time in spring and the time in fall. And that's just right.
But it's coming this way, I'm sure.
Oh, Rockport's your sign, Rockport. So they're widening the road there on 31.
Yeah, they are.
They should have got 531 all the way.
Well,
down.
that was originally planned all the way down, what was it? Rockport, Niagara Falls, and it was gonna go down either 31A or Power Line. And they were putting feelers out to steal our land there. Yeah, it was planned, but it kinda,
It didn't happen in Kodak.
I'll reach out to Bridget and find out about the subdivision or land separation. Next is the fee schedule. I spent a little time kinda went through a few thoughts, which I can give you those now, or however you wanna go at it here. They're asking us to update the fee schedule. Obviously, it hasn't been updated since 2006, right?
Right.
Yeah, February 14th, '06. But it says on the bottom of it, it does say that it was updated in '09, revised January 1st, '09. So
Yeah, but Clarendon has, at the top is, revised September 96, but then some of them were updated a couple years ago too, I noticed that top page.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Clarence had it. They updated it every couple of years.
Every couple of years on
Yeah.
certain ones, not on all of them, I guess. I don't know if they would've changed their heading, but.
I was thinking about this, and I kind of my opinion, but we want to entice people to build here, and we don't want to make it so that they are going to be feed out of existence. But on the other hand, we got to have a code enforcement officer that's on the payroll, so we got to figure out how to justify the dollars to offset his wage. So I was kind of thinking that if the guy guy or gal had to travel from here to the furthest part of the town, it could be as much as 25 miles round trip, which the reimbursement rate is 65 cents a mile now from the state. So right off the top, their vehicle cost is about $17 an hour, or $17 for one trip out. And then going to pay them to drive, and I don't really know what the rate is they're talking about paying this person, but if it was half an hour, round half an hour, 15 minutes out, 15 minutes back, and you paid the person $50 an hour, that's $25. So just the travel piece, to go to a site, visit, and come back could be $50.
Plus my own.
With-
Or I'm
with-
sorry, that's
with the
including
mileage,
mileage, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
$17 of travel,
17,
$25 of labor, and then
$42.
a little bit of overhead. And
I guess I did the same thing, but how do you know how I guess it'd be helpful, but how do the inspection fees work? Does the town split them, or does that go to the person? Or, like, what's that inspection fee pay for? Or does it go right into the general kitty, and then we just pay the gal or guy, a set amount for doing it? Or is it,
No. It's all part of their salary now.
it's all part of the salary?
Uh, Closer to 20,000.
do you know what the expectation of number of hours is for that dollar amount?
No.
So the inspection fees have no influence on that salary, or or is they on top of it? Okay. All right. That's helpful. I didn't know if they split them or not. I was just trying to figure out how, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are they paid mileage?
You like reimbursed for mileage?
Right, if they're not getting paid mileage and we're collecting from them.
Yep. Agreed. Yep. You mean like their salary could include their vehicle to go to inspections?
Yeah.
Or mile off, whatever, pay a mileage.
Right.
You drive your vehicle, we give you $1 a mile or whatever. But if we're trying to base the fee on what it's costing them and it's not going to them, then that doesn't make any sense. Not that it should go directly to them, because I don't think it should. I think it should go to the town, and then it get, not necessarily reimbursed. It should be part of their salary, but I don't have to make up this part. I mean, I I guess all I'm saying is we shouldn't base it on something that's not happening.
Yeah, well, I think we need to find that out, right?
Yeah.
How the
Is he
structure is gonna be
reimbursed
for
for
travel.
mileage?
They would submit a voucher for mileage,
They would.
yes.
And do you think they'd be,
I don't think Shelley ever did, no. I'm pretty sure Jared will be.
they need to? So if they're gonna reimburse mileage, then are they gonna reimburse, or is the person gonna be, is time doing that gonna be considered on the clock?
Yeah, those are things we need to know before we change. That's what I was going with too, because it makes a difference on how we set our fees and who we're trying to protect. if you will.
Isn't salary?
Well, I think somebody must have had some kind of an idea though when they came up with the salary of what
Not
What-
full-time.
what the time expectation was gonna be, right? No. Yeah,
None of that's up to us, but we need to know it.
I think we do in order to adjust the fees. That's right, yeah. 'Cause we're trying to justify the income for the code enforcement officer, right? And maybe try to offset his salary. I think that's the goal here is to figure out how to hopefully have the fee offset the salary.
That's something.
But it shouldn't be, I mean, the fee for somebody over by Shelby shouldn't be more than somebody across the street either.
No, should be average.
Average.
Yeah.
It's something we gotta contend. Or planning board.
No,
Well, there-
we're just trying to come up with a fee, whether we should raise the fee, if the fee's supposed to be compensating the town for what they're paying.
They want our recommendation. We don't set it.
Right.
Yeah. I think it'd be, I think if we knew how many hours they were thinking of for the 20K, roughly, then we could kind of get an idea of how long each task on the fee schedule is gonna take, and from there, kind of figure out what the cost should be on the fee schedule.
I don't know if we're gonna get any of that correct information since we're getting a new law enforcement officer that's gonna probably act a little differently than the previous one. They might not have any history to back up how many hours you do spend on an inspection.
I guess if we knew the biggest number would be, like you said, if they're putting in the voucher for expenses. There has to be an expectation of 20,000 to be working 20 hours or 25 hours. And then we can look at the projects, and the ones that are bigger, of course, cost more inspections, so it should all work out where it's not, we don't have a different inspection. It's just that if you only need one, because it's a smaller project, it should be set. If you need more, then you get 4 different chips and it makes, 4 times whatever our number is. No, he gave us Clarkson's.
No, she had suggestions here,
Oh, that.
on the very fee schedule.
Yeah. Well, we had that discussion. We didn't know where that came from because he didn't have any dialogue with it. If it's just to raise it to be, because everyone else is raising it, or if it's.
He doesn't have anything on here though, for inspection fees,
Yeah, he didn't put the.
on his suggestions. We have it on.
Got
our
the
website.
Clarendon one there.
I I think Chad had it all rolled into the, application fees and everything.
If 20, I was just gonna, if it was $20,000, the cost to the town was with the cost to turn on the lights and the, supplies he needs, no travel, just his office here and so forth and so on. It seems like $50 for the labor piece, and maybe $10 for an hour for the. I'm just throwing numbers out. I came up with $75 an hour for the guy, but maybe that's heavy. But it all kind of depends on what the. Are you including the mileage on that? No, just his labor.
But we don't know how many hours they're hiring him.
But we don't know how many hours the 20K represents.
Yeah.
And we don't really know whether these are supposed to be covering his wages. I mean, he's just an employee of the town. Are we supposed to be covering his wages with these fees? I mean, I'll bet you the fees that got collected over the last couple of years don't amount to much enough to hire a person. So I don't think that may not be our goal.
Yeah, that would be the other thing is if the income he generates is totally generated from these fees, then is that what our goal is? Is to try to offset it? Or are there other things?
I don't think that should be it. I mean, they're just an employee that's helping the town. How should I put this? I mean, it's just like you can't take one of the guys that's mowing the road and say he's making his own salary but from something coming in. That doesn't work that way. It's just a job. Part of what makes Barry what it is, and we all pay for it through our taxes.
Right. Maybe there's a portion of it. Maybe it's half.
I mean, I can see maybe for the inspections, maybe should try out to cover his trim fees, but other than that, I don't think they're that relevant with each other.
Do you think it would be good to know what the generated fees were the last 5 years?
That'd be interesting. And it could help us. But if we see that there's no way fees are going to cover a salary, then we'll quit trying to do that.
Yeah.
Well, I would find out first too. Does the town, do they plan on covering his salary? And then the fees are additional coming in. That's like Lee or Maureen or anybody that the town has hired.
Right.
There's nothing to cover them. It's their salary.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking we don't need to worry about it, but we need to know.
At least they don't have to cover us with anything.
Yeah, really.
Maybe we should start charging mileage.
Could that be done on a case-by-case basis, including the inspections for the money? That way, the mile away is 57 cents. 10 miles away is $1.70.
That's one logic, but does that fair for the guy that lives out far away from the town building? But that's not a township either.
I think, I mean, in my opinion, it'd be difficult to have a different structure for everybody. Whereas if you made it a plan where
We could never justify a different structure fee for everything.
Well, it's minimal compared to the person that has to figure it out. Is just make it a flat fee. Just make it a flat fee and not have to put in a mileage fee different from this person. It's like paperwork costs to just figure that part out too. Flat fee is what we're on.
I mean, I'm assuming that they're all standardized. I mean, because if you look at, let's just take Albus, for example, they'll have, there's a $25 per inspection. Per inspection.
It's usually
It's flat. Yep.
Which is what we were.
Yeah, depending on the project.
Puts theirs right in there. Outside, you bring stove. $75 to include 2 inspections. And certificate of. Yep. So, again, they do the same thing for swimming pools, Clarendon, or Clarkson does. $100 to include 2 inspections and see about running ground.
Alba has a $25 special inspections as required by the CEO.
This is interesting, but if the guy worked 8 hours a week times 52 weeks times $50 an hour, it's $20,000.
$50 an hour, $100,000 a year.
That's not a full time. But that's the cost of the town. The town has to pay for his insurance. They have to provide a place for him to work. Heat, lights, air conditioning, the water, the septic, all those things, right? There's a cost associated with all of them. Well, what I'm saying is that the cost for him to exist, those are all things that are attached to his cost.
He gets a salary of $20,000.
Right.
You don't even know how many hours he works. You're guessing 8 hours.
I just use that as a number, you know.
Yeah, but that's not the bulk, 20,000.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't think that we're trying to, I think we're just trying to put our fees in a reasonable line. Because the salary is the salary, it's the cost of doing business. Because the town needs a zoning officer, regardless of what they.
Right.
We do the number, it's a necessary evil.
It's just
Yeah.
another employee of the town,
Um,
paid by the tax.
Because I kind of looked at it like you kind of started out, Tom, is what are we trying to encourage? Our fees have been low, and it's not like we've seen a big influx. But we also don't want to punish the few that want to build a house or anything else, or want to do businesses, is the way I look at it. I liked Chad's, well, I saw it before, and I couldn't find it at home, and I did the same chicken scratch all over the place. But then it seemed like we were picking and choosing, like, because we knew we had people that go to the tower, so we jacked those up, because well, we know they're gonna, like this guy comes in here and oh, we got him now because we got a tower. I don't like doing that after the fact is what I was thinking. That's just not towers there. It is what it is.
Yep.
And I know you can't have the conversation, but even like with mining, like they had special zoning things. You can't do after the fact to me. Like and I saw that in this. There was a few that just glaringly were just way out of line because there's stuff that we deal with maybe that Clarkson doesn't. But I guess long and short of it, regardless, if the town reimburses him for mileage or not, because that's just it's an expense to the town so they can write it off, or he's smart, he's probably doing his own and writing it off his 20,000. I mean, because again, it's different areas to go back and forth whether he's keeping the log or not. I kind of like the idea of what Clarendon did, where you figure out and you just cap it to $100 and it includes the two inspectors. building. Not harnessing anyone, and in the end, it's law of averages. Get the fees of it. Just to raise them, just doesn't mean people come in here and apply for it.
Yeah.
That's my own personal. But there was some things in here that I didn't know we didn't charge before, like, I saw like oil requests and stuff like that, and I thought was good, because they do take a lot of time. Printing people copies of things if they wanna come in and look at any of the other stuff, and want copies to take home. The town should be reimbursed for that. And I didn't see that before, or at least it was spelled out much more clearly in some of the other structures.
Demolition, that's what we were discussing too. You know, you want to get rid of these structures, but if you make them pay to have to get rid of them,
We should be paying them. to
we
get rid of
should.
it, Yeah.
What are we compensating for that? What is the town doing for them?
Right.
The only
Telling them
thing I
what they
thought-
can't do.
The only thing I thought of is if we charged them 25 and it was demolished. Well, they demolished it, you give them back to 25. It's just I agree, it should be zero net, but you don't want someone to say you're gonna demolish it, and then you have we really wanna encourage them to demolish it somehow, I don't know how. I don't
Charge you
either.
$25 is.
At least when we know they're gonna do it.
Is
That's all.
that just to? Does that cover an inspection?
I think it was more the paperwork just to notice to file, probably taken off the tax roll, because there's also one that says that you're supposed to pay. If you have a dwelling that's not occupied or vacant, you're supposed to pay a yearly fee, and I saw on one of the schedules where they escalated that. The longer that thing sat and deteriorated, it started getting to be 300 to 500. After 5 years, I don't know which, maybe it was Clarkson, it was a big
That'd be a
nut.
liability.
Albion's doing that themselves.
It was a big number that
Empty
he had in
buildings.
there. So if you had one, let's say you just bought an old farmhouse that's just sitting there, that's been, you're supposed to, in that case, they'd want you to pay, it's unoccupied, and then the longer it sat there, every year you're, on top of your taxes, you're gonna pay more and more until it was.
Demolished or-
Yeah.
A good example is that house on Eagle Harbor in Gillette.
Oh, yeah.
That's a beautiful place, or what?
Was. They had
Great
character.
shape. It
but
had
they
character,
It
but
could have been.
it wasn't in great shape.
This
but-
old hole.
Yeah. But the problem is the roof. You know, you can't do anything because you can't burn it because of the asphalt, the asbestos. You know, how do you get rid of it? What do you do with it? The farmer isn't gonna pay.
Oh, we're all aware of that.
I know, that's a
Go
lot
by
of
that
money.
one of his all the time.
Barns,
Well, let's ask the question.
Board by board.
Who controls the demolition of those? Why can't you put them in the ground? If you're a
He's got a
business, you can't do
special
it.
committee.
So you had to have an inspection, I just wanna understand, so before you were demolishing it, and they said, hey, it's got asbestos, you can't? Is that just because you're a business? Would it have been different? I'm just asking, if you were just a resident? Same.
So was the inspection by the town or by the DEC?
No, it was by a private.
Who requested it? But the town was requesting it, that's what I'm asking, the town requested you to. Exactly. I think they want it in the ground so it's not airborne, but anyways. I guess that's the whole point of how what we have control over, so we know the process, we wanna get rid of these
Remediation is
houses.
expensive.
Correct.
It'll be taken off. I saw it all happen down in Elbing. We had to do the physical on the inmates that were cleaning this off the pipe. Ridiculous. Like me and you probably been all around that shit our whole life.
But yeah, demolition, I say we shouldn't have to.
Delete the demolition. He asked us if we wanted to get rid of any of them.
Yeah.
I don't believe we should have a demolition one.
You better check first to make sure, because I thought that demolition was a check for it. Any do. Well, you could still give them the.
No, we still gotta apply for it.
We don't do any inspection. It has to be an outside resource.
Yeah, there's no reason for us to charge a fee because we're just turning it over to the right people working with asbestos, I guess is what we're saying. Unless we wanna encourage it. But I don't think anyone walked away because it was a fee. It's because of all the other nuances.
Someday, the other thing I was thinking about too, I don't know if this would happen, but, when we get a lot of different things in the town related to green energy, the responsibilities of the code enforcement officer might.
Yeah, those solar panels get wiped out. Hell. I'm gonna be idiot.
Yeah, I was just thinking, might be a fair. If we lose the code enforcement officer and we got a lot going on, might have to be offset with the salary. Want to have he set the way that we can afford to hire somebody.
It'd be a quick to the town board.
He did. Okay. So that might not be necessary, right?
Well, I imagine most of the worst things that can happen are covered by the bond that we have, whether it's demolition or just maintenance. I would assume we're having, we're not on the hook. The worst thing could happen, be a hailstorm, and then they say, screw it, we're walking away from it, right? It's not worth the cleanup and the expense. That's what the bond's for. That's why we requested, I think, 150% of what.
Yeah.
The formula was 2 years.
Yeah, how come that? Did I miss it?
The only thing.
That's one of the ones I was. So this is just a for example, because Gene just
Yeah.
looked at it. So this is just to show you the flavor of what I'm talking about. This is Chad's recommendation. So let's just pick solar energy structures over 1 megawatt, 1,020 per acre. 1,020 per acre.
So how much would that be on?
So on his, it'd been 20,000. On the one they just did in Albion, which was 36, it'd be 38,000.
Is that a one-time?
And they're paying it.
And he doesn't wanna do any?
Well, they're not, because this is what his suggestions were, is what I'm saying. We were,
And he's not doing any work or any inspections or anything? So it's just a money grab, right? I thought, aren't they being taxed though? I mean, they're gonna be, there's gonna be a tax revenue for them, right? It's like a company.
correct, this is purely aside from
All that.
all that, it's the application.
You get that number from a neighboring town?
Well, I
I'm just curious, look at, there's.
no, it doesn't rack up to the other ones that I looked at.
Yeah.
Which other one?
Well, you look at, Clarkson has one.
That's what I was thinking of, Clarkson.
Yeah, because he had.
It's the flavor of, it's almost the towns, like, either you're for it or against it or not, but your fees are allocated to who's in your backyard doing business. Clarkson has a few big solar projects on it. Alba, what was that one? They should have addressed it.
We don't have that.
Solar energy systems, residential and commercial, 150 plus $4 per
Yeah, that's
kilowatt.
what I was telling you. It's the opposite end of the spectrum. Yeah.
Clarendon doesn't have anything.
I think it was over the,
5 meg. Over 5 meg.
yeah.
5,000. 1,000 kilowatts is a megawatt.
And we were at,
Residential, 25 plus inspection. There's no,
because our fees were not on here, the ones that we
commercial.
were just talking about are commercial, how we had it.
We have those, though, they're recent, we shouldn't be meddling with them.
Correct. We just put
Same with
those.
the wind and the solar, we shouldn't be changing. The recent, they're not since 2009. I mean, they are since 2009. Is that the? Yeah.
Yeah, he paid a nice little thing. So if it was 500 acres times $1,000 bucks,
That can't use stoves. 500 acres.
that's $500,000 that they would apply for us for their permit. And then we paid for the zoning officer. He's driving a BMW or a Tesla around, whatever he likes.
I got a feeling that big one's not gonna be any good.
According to this, you said we had our fees set, but it's not on this paper.
Sure, it's not on there. But we have the fees in the.
Yeah, we looked at his fees.
Solar
Yeah.
zoning.
Okay, so
That
why are
includes
we
the
here?
fees.
I just would be curious of what the fees are, just so we know.
Yeah. So you passed it on to us. All right.
I think it's important to know the logic of what they're trying to achieve here. Somebody's got to come up with the logic of what you're trying to do. If it's offset some of the expenses of code enforcement, if it's offset all of it, I don't know. What was the expense or the fees that were generated the last 5 years? How much average per year did you generate?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we really need to know this, what they're trying to do. And are we trying to make these fees like, let's stay on the solar? Is this another way to, whether it's in line with our comprehensive plan when it comes out or out of line? Are we trying to make our fees in alignment?
The fee shouldn't really have anything to do with
I agree, but it appears to me, just on face value, that if you're gonna grab 500,000, let's just say 25 or 30,000. Maybe that's the going rate. I don't know. I mean, that'd be nice. It'd be nice to know from a solar company, like in this case, what is expected, or
that.
That's just the wrong.
Yeah.
No, I know. I know. That's just, I don't like that. That's just like saying, well, he can afford it, somebody charge you more.
Fees got set where they're at. If we just want to compensate for inflation, okay, raise them 10 or 20%. Just don't look at everyone specifically and overanalyze it. That's what.
Yeah.
I like balance and all.
Just increasing whatever you want to say is, and that's our justification. We tell them, we recommend we increase it by 20% because of inflation hasn't been changed in so many years. That's our recommendation, and that's our reasoning why we're doing it.
You take the highest and lowest.
You go any further than that, you can be in this going round and round and round.
No, I agree.
But we still gotta have what the town.
You want a justification, you want an amount, you can talk about what, you want to make it 20% or 25%. And now you have answers if they say, well, how did you come up with that? Well, what the inflation was over the last whatever number of years that hasn't been raised.
According to the U.S. Here you go. According to U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, prices for all items less shelter are 46.49% higher in 2024 versus 2006. I just need to go to that. 46%. 46.
There you go. Add that on to our justification.
So that would be a logical analysis.
That's when our last done.
Well, it has been revised as of January 2009.
Well, even if you made
Some
it
of
to even
these.
50%, that's just adding half.
Yes, from 2009, because these were revised then. I know that was adopted.
You're asking Siri to do a lot.
So
Look at now, she pulled up. I should have.
that'd be our justification. Labor statistic. 2000 what, 6, last time? Yeah.
It was adopted, but there's been revisions 2009. On it. 2007, 8, and 9.
I think it'd be good to ask these pointed questions of them too, though. Oh, in addition to that. Yeah, but you know what I mean? Because I think some of these things would raise some questions in the board's mind of what they are trying to do. You know?
That's one way of going at it. But they're looking for our recommendation of what it should be. Just increases based on financial situation over the years. Recommendation. You can't fault the reasoning. I mean, whatever it was originally set, you just wanna change it to this because the financial situation.
50%. Zero labels.
Look up and see.
Well, it makes sense. Just looking for our recommendation, so keep it simple.
Why are we doing it? Because we don't have to pass it down to.
Yeah, but you guys have more answers to some of these things than what we have.
%, 20% for home residential. We
The,
wanna encourage that.
the inspection fees for the, not inspection, but the engineering review costs for these larger projects, those are all paid by the engineering director,
Right.
firm anyway.
Well, and the attorneys as well, even our attorneys paid by the.
So, I don't know if our zoning says on a larger solar project, they have to provide the inspection staff, inspector to assure compliance with our zoning.
It'd be also nice to know
I do.
about our town attorney, how much time she spends over the allotment on these other projects. And if they're paying her for them. Take the wind, you take the solar. When people give her a special project, is it coming out of,
Well, I'm sure she's billing for it.
I agree. Are we passing that on?
I think we should be, all of it. And it's
Or
a
are we
big
not?
project.
It'd be nice to,
Know what those
Yeah.
charges are.
on average, and how we do that.
Getting too complicated here.
We used to have that, that's what I'm saying, we wanna get into.
Probably need to add to the fee collection, commercial attorney fees to be included.
What we do on a big project, sometimes we tell them they have to put money up and to offset our costs, but I got no idea, we never hear afterwards if they really do or what we require them to put up. Don't know that. No, we talked about it.
Yeah, we've had to include outside engineering. We've done that.
Well, that's site review, attorney fees, all that stuff to be included in permit. But that's the large part. Still wanna keep the residential at a low.
We're not supposed to be coming up with the fees, we're just supposed to be revising them.
Right.
Nah.
Gotta admit, our fees are kinda on the low side for the surrounding towns. Very much on the low side.
So is somebody gonna ask these questions that we wanna know? Or do we need to, or?
What's the percentage?
155%.
What?
Didn't you say wages went up? Wages went up from $1
Oh,
to
now we,
$1.55?
1,009, I'm gonna say it's gonna be about
Cost of living went up.
142. It's gonna be 42%.
42.
Yep.
42% from 09 to
09.
24.
142.
Siri, for some reason, is having a hard time. Based on the average.
Most of
it was 47.
Well, if we were gonna pick a number, we should pick a number that makes the most amount of use.
No, no, correct. I'm just giving it some ballpark of what we. If we're not gonna change it for another 10 years, you can just do 50%. So your $100 fee is 150.
Before election, it'll be at 50%.
Correct. So you're.
Yeah. After election.
That's a lot. On this revenue, you.
Say why you did it.
Is that why you did it?
I'm good with that, but we don't need to decide anything tonight. We've got questions to come back from the board. Work on it next month.
I can put some questions together that we brought up with their objectives.
We still have to have the comprehensive plan for the town. Could reflect in our fees also.
I think our fees can be our fees. I think we can get those questions answered, but then we just pick a number, like we all said, and just go down the,
The 50%.
just use our logic. Hey, we increased the goods.
Some of it I wouldn't put 50%.
And then we can look at the ones that we don't get a lot of use or home demolition, that we feel in new builds, they shouldn't have to, you want to encourage residential, they,
We want to encourage cleanup too.
so.
Is there
And the town board can determine all that. We can just give them our recommendations on the fees and what our logic was. Right?
is there any mechanism in there for cleanup property or forced to clean up? Yeah.
Working on this one down here. Man, that one's been there a long time.
It's actually a liability to the town because if somebody gets hurt in there, you're not gonna pay it.
Well, we're on this, because I didn't see it, and I still don't see it, that if you're out of compliance, do we fine you?
So it's $50 if you don't get a building permit. Right.
Yeah, I knew that, but I'm just saying, let's say you have 20 cars around your house and you don't have them registered, like, I'm
They have
just
to be
saying,
registered and licensed.
Correct.
and inspected.
let's say they don't have them. I know, but I'm saying, how,
And this,
okay, the fines are in there, so we're not dealing with the fines, we're just,
Yeah,
okay,
and
all right, that's
we
what I was
don't
saying.
mess
I
with
guess
it.
I wasn't asking.
This is just permit fees. Answer your question. Next month. Move forward from there.
Are we okay with that? I'll send everybody the questions.
I like your question. You're good. Don't worry about that.
I'm not gonna do it.
Anything else? Oh.
I was not completely blamed. Woke up Friday morning and
So the county, are we good with the fees, everybody? Okay. So the county planning board was on, April 2nd. First one was, the Village of Holly, updated their comprehensive plan. They had Collier's engineering firm do the update. The last time it was done was in 2010, and they approved the changes to that. The next item was in the Village of Albion, and it's the piece of property that's south of the Crosbys on the west side of Route 98. They tore tore down the house, 210 South Main Street. They wanted to change the zoning from residential commercial to general commercial. It's 0.23 acres. They did not consider it to be spot zoning because there's an adjacent property next to it. It's already general commercial, which is the gas station, because it's touching it on the other side. So that was approved, which I was kind of surprised the spot zoning thing they brought up, but that was approved. Sounds like Crosby's remodeling the store on the side of the canal, and then they're going to move to the other one, remodel that one. And Jim Bensley was out on medical leave. Not sure if he's back now or how he's doing. He hasn't been working correctly. They got an intern deputy director for now, which is Corey Winters. The training is June 11th from 5 to 9. Everybody got that. Everybody get the training at the old library.
Friday.
Yeah. That was it. Yeah. That was 24 or 14 years ago. I don't know what they.
Previous one. We didn't even get a pizza party yet. Oh, this is the last one. This is the last one. I remember years ago.
How you didn't hear anything about it, as far as surveys or any other.
Yeah. $25,000 was the grant, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay. All right. I guess anything else? You all right?
Motion we adjourn.
Okay. All right. Need a second for that. Okay. All in favor?